Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 25 January 2016 and I have before you a knife that I've been getting a lot of requests to review. I've been waiting for one to come in for sharpening and finally got one from my customer Lex. This is the Knifeworks exclusive Benchmade 940-1501 with the black and blue G10 handle and blade steel of Crucible CPM 20 CV. Oh, and by the way, it does have those beautiful bright blue anodized barrel standoffs, hourglass standoffs, and flow through construction. The second one of these sort of different construction 940s Benchmade has brought to market in the last couple of years. Oh gosh, probably almost 2 years ago I reviewed the 940-1, which had carbon fiber scales, the same steel subframe as all 940s, and the blue anodized hourglass standoffs. That one was a heavy stonewash on S90V for the blade steel, CPM S90V. I think I gave that knife a fairly positive review and then did a little follow-up video on it shortly thereafter. And maybe you could tell by my tone if you watch those two that, I don't know, the gloss was sort of wearing off that star by the time I did the follow-up. And let me tell you guys, a couple years in, I have sharpened a bunch of 940-1s, most of them new, and frankly, let me just say that by the looks of the cutting edges, how much blade is left, and the profile of the edge from belly to this long straight portion, apparently the guys who sharpen, or the women who sharpen knives at Benchmade, can't sharpen S90V without grinding away most of the blade, leaving a huge recurve here, and having no beard at the choil that leaves the user, the owner, anything to sharpen as time goes by. That's a problem. 940-1 costs $250. It's made out of really exotic blade steel, and all your opportunity to sharpen that knife and still have serviceable blade left is gone when it leaves the factory, because it looks to me like the factory sharpeners, because S90V is such a bear to grind, they take so many attempts at it that by the time they get it right, the blade's gone, or they get it not quite screwed up and there's barely enough blade left to ship, so they throw it in a box, which frankly makes my life a little difficult when I'm sharpening a brand new knife to make it right. I recommend strongly, guys, if you don't already have one, against purchasing a 940-1 because the blades are so jacked up. S90V is a very grind resistant steel. It doesn't take a super keen edge unless you're just going to be there for hours. I guess the edge retention is good, but you know, what does it matter how long an average edge holds its edge? I don't know. So this knife, the 940-1501, although maybe the scales aren't as cool as that carbon fiber, they're still pretty cool. I'll get into that in a minute. But this 20 CV, CPM 20 CV, which is the chemistry equivalent of Carpenter CTS 204P or Bowler M390, super rust resistant, still kind of a bear to sharpen, but not much harder than say S35VN. A little easier to sharpen than LMAX, a lot easier to sharpen than S90V, and it's a rewarding steel to sharpen. It takes a fine edge. a keen razor edge, almost a sticky edge. Very nice. And I think you can tell this has been sharpened at the factory, and then I have sharpened it to 16 degrees per side. We've still got a pretty broad blade left here, and a nice long pointy tip. It seems like they're having a much easier time putting the factory edge on this model, this version of the 940, than they did the 940-1. I think it's time to wipe. We'll use a green microfiber terry cloth towel for that. And it's got our normal Benchmade sort of grinder satin with a light stone wash over top. Our grinds are pretty symmetrical. See how we did on the edge. Pretty nice. We have a, doggone it, a near free drop in there. There it goes. Still breaking in. A near free dropper. There we go. With 0 side to side play. And near perfection in the centering department. Not always the case with a Benchmade. This one, by the way, is not lighter, nor is it heavier than the aluminum scaled version of the 940. 2.9 ounces. I think the 940-1, the carbon fiber knife, came in a little lighter at what, about 2.3 or 4 ounces? It's still plenty light. You know, under 3 ounces for 3 7/16 inch blade, almost all of it cutting edge. Oh, by the way, we did have to do a little choil enhancement to get clear of the plunge grind, as we do on almost all Benchmades. Not a big deal. I could do them in my sleep now. Haven't ruined a blade since I'd ruined mine. So really a nice effort. And by the way, $50 cheaper than a 940-1. These are available at Knifeworks.com for $199. By the way, this polished split arrow clip, although I think it looks right smart on this one, is not the original clip. It comes with the Parkerized Emerson style clip that says Benchmade USA. I just have always thought that the split arrow looks better on a 940 handle, especially with the relief cuts in blue. You really notice the lines more than you do on a standard 940. So you can really see what I'm talking about. I was going to go into this handle material more. It's, I think, a standard layered blue and black G10, but we don't have any sort of random reveals of the layers on this knife. The layer thicknesses and the milling depths for this blue stripe and then the scallop cuts in the sides are very precise. Notice how, as we come down in these scallops, we reveal a stripe of blue almost exactly the same width as this single blue line that's milled to depth from a flat that is this black on the top. And then we come down to another layer of black and we leave it there all the way to the edge of the knife. The edges are just barely broken, much like the aluminum handled knife. I just think they did a great job with their process getting the blue and the black right. You know, there's nothing random. There's no no fade type reveals from one layer to the other. It's just very precise, very crisp. One of the best treatments I've seen on a multicolored G10 handle. Just excellent. I really, for what, $25 more than a standard aluminum handled 940? You can have one of these. With, you can make the case with a considerable steel upgrade and a more durable handle material. This, a blue and black G10 handle is going to look the same for a long time. That hard anodized green aluminum, they do get scuffed up. It's a pretty durable finish, but they get scuffed up and they get shiny. This is a heck of a buy. I think they're still in stock. And for those of you who really wanted the 940-1 to be awesome, and it kind of wasn't, just doesn't, to me, have the consistency in machining and fit and finish quality to be a $250 940. This is definitely a $200 940. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. That's all for this one, my friends. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And remember, the Word and Alexa's 940-1501, Knifeworks exclusive, are sharp.